SeriesE.
SeriesE.
SeriesE. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
SeriesE. SeriesE. Apex Legends.
SeriesE Apex Legends starts right now.
What is up, everybody?
Welcome to season 3 of Series E T Squared here with Vicky. Vicky, it's been a minute. Last time we were on the desk together was the ALGS, and I missed out on the 10K Invitational, but we get to kick season 3 off. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I actually missed out on the 10K Invitational myself, but it's been a bit, Tom, and I'm really excited to kick off season 3. Already 3 seasons strong out here for the Series E.
Yeah, and if you guys didn't see Esports Arena, now that COVID is kind of on the mend, we're starting to see the Walmart centers open up all over the place, popping up. So if it's in a city near you, make sure you guys check out the tweet, follow at Esports Arena on Twitter. And we're at the new production studio too. I mean, we're at home, but they've moved out of Santa Ana into somewhere else. So I'm looking forward to seeing when that's all put together, what that's going to look like. But I'm also looking forward, Vicky, to these new players that we have coming on board here with new partners, because you all know each season 4 teams continue to make it and hold on to their partnerships going into the next season. The other 5 teams have to go and try to requalify throughout all of this. And we had an opportunity to see some teams get relegated and some new teams coming up on in there. So let's take a look at the format. So if you're new, you can get a little bit of a feel for how open day here. Tuesdays are open day. Wednesdays are our pro day. And we have the typical ALGS format here where you get points based on kills and you get points based on placement as well, Vicky. And what do you think in terms of open day? Do you have any teams that you like? Do you have any teams that you were kind of looking out for? Any names that you were looking out for today?
Honestly, after looking at the qualifiers, the last impression that I got in was looking at Dudes Night Out and thinking about all the other teams that didn't make it into their sponsored teams. We still have those 9 sponsored teams that you want to look out for that made it through some of those qualifiers. But when you take a look at some of the teams we're going to see today, you still have 11 other teams that are free agents. So I feel like today being the first day, it's going to be a free for all, quite literally. So I'm excited to see how this is going to start off for the season, because I feel like that's going to set a lot of things in motion, looking at the teams that want to perform to that level now that they have a big name that they have to perform for.
Unfortunately, this tournament wasn't on Sunday. Otherwise, we would have been able to play the game. So, fortunately, servers are working, and we're out there doing big things here for season 3. It's going to be pretty fun to watch. Again, these new faces pop up as we take a look at those new teams and those new faces. You can see a lot of teams obviously coming through on our open day. You can participate in this as well, but just know that it's first come, first serve. So again, make sure that you're following Esports Arena on Twitter for all of your updates. Looking at some of the teams that I like. Clone Force 32, that is a great team name right there. You have Team Lazarus actually popping in here. Hundreds is a very strong player overall. He's been in Series E in the past, but you have some of our staple team names here and teams as well, where we take a look at Team Razor with Zera and Hakulo. They have a new third popping in there. Team Applejacks is playing really well. You have Kubsky, Double O Negative, and Blueberry actually played with Kubsky not too long ago. In terms of these partner teams, though, Team Pringles was the team, Vicky, that was impressing a lot of teams last season.
Yeah, and so when you take a look at Team Pringles, a lot of other teams are going to want to take note of that, especially since they're going to be coming right back in as Team Pringles. Now, as we get started, it's going to be the same case here, Tom, where we're going to have the 6 games for our teams to compete in, and the teams, of course, that have the most points are going to be crowned the winners for this week. And that's a great way to start off the season too, with that $500 in the pocket and being able to rep those teams so that way they see, all right, these guys mean business. And we're also getting off from the hype of the ALGS. You mentioned it earlier on. So, with coming from that tournament and now going into season 3, a lot of these teams now have a clean slate to kind of work their way up from.
Exactly, and one of the teams that I'm looking out for also is Gibby X, which is going to be Frapper, Renegade, and Blight. This is a newly formed team and possibly one of our top open teams that we have in here. They had kind of a little honeymoon phase their first tournament, kind of fell off during their second tournament, but I'm expecting them to bounce back. Team Intel is a new roster from the previous Intel roster. They actually got signed by Ghost Gaming, and then this is a new team that kind of filled in for them and has taken over their spot. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do, because Intel was one of the teams going in from season 2 that hopped up from 6th, 5th place going on to 4th. I mean, there was a huge run. 4 teams were fighting for that final spot to see if they could make it into season 3. And you don't want to go and do that. You want to hop off early. You want to get to a hot start. And you do that today, starting in season 3. And really in our open day too, because this is where a lot of our points are going to be had. Tomorrow, our pro day is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I love how you highlighted Team Intel. I think that was a team that actually had got in 6th place, if I can recall correctly, from the 10K Invitational. So, even though they had landed in that 6th place spot, that's still, looking at the competition that they had to face off against, really good. So hopefully they can bring some of that momentum going into this first day of Season 3. But Tom, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what our Legends have to work with, especially now being able to be under a new name. Well, at least some of our players, at least, are recurring players that we've seen in the past, and what they have to work from, because you made mention of it. This is the first day. You want to start off strong. You want to make sure you carry on that momentum throughout the season, because a lot of these players, they're going to have a lot more games coming up for them.
Yeah, I'm really thinking that Team Pringles is going to finish where they started off in Season 2, or start off where they finished in Season 2, because they're a team that has continuously been a team that looks like they could win a tournament. But you have a lot of popular players in here. I mean, we have Turns that's playing on Team Nestle as well. Had an opportunity to team with him over at Twitch Rivals in San Diego in 2019. Extremely strong player, great in-game leader as well, and very experienced, played on Pittsburgh Knights as well. So he really has a great understanding of this map right here, which we're still on World Z. There's a lot going on with Kings Canyon, different, seasons call for different metas, but we're still playing what's officially played in the ALGS until heard otherwise. And this is going to be one of our open teams. It's going to be, I don't know how to say it. We're going to say Airstream Esports with the capital E and S and some really nice flatline PK shots over here. I mean, this is the kind of loot that you look like that you're getting in the first round of arenas. So you better be ready to fight right here if you're Brandon. It looks like he was. They don't have the high ground, but they should be able to loot backwards towards Thermal, which is good because Thermal has a lot of loot. So it is one of those things that you could split if you would like to, or you could fight. And it looks like they're doing a little bit of both.
Oh, they have to watch out, though. They're getting shot from behind, too. Now they're forced to funnel into this room, just trying to figure things out. Looking like they may not have a lot of materials, considering the fact the game just dropped. And take a look at Psycho's alternator ammo drop already. 37 bullets, so if they're going to get sandwiched, they need to work on something quickly.
And it looks like he's waiting to hit a scan over here. As you can see, they're just waiting to figure out exactly where these players are. As they're going to start to rotate now. There's the jump pad going on up and climbing up. I like this play, but they end up hitting each other and they have to fall down. There's the flank coming in from the opposite team. You can see Decoys has the EVA 8 inside, but it's going to be a trade out from Psycho. And here's the bubble fight. Double bubbles coming through. Some great shots from the enemy Gibby. Not able to connect with all of these shots and not even hitting a scan because it's mid-fight. So we'll see if the armor swap comes out. He does have, it looks like an arc star that's going to go inside the bubble as he makes his way on over towards the outside. And there it is, the clean wipe. Brandon should be able to get res back on over here. And Airstream Esports is going to take one of our first fights coming in from SeriesE. Very nicely done.
I like that patience too displayed from Airstream Esports there. You could didn't get a little overzealous, was able to get a little bit onto the high ground, play patiently into the Gibby bubble. That was a great play here, especially since they were pressured, and now they have those tools necessary to make their moves here. Maybe try to focus on opting to go for a beacon, but they have to watch out for Cheez-It here. Now, as Cheez-It's the one taking the fight over to another squad, over to the other side, it's going to be the PK hits landing the flatline too already. A purple extended heavy mag. Yeah, Cheez-Its have a lot of tools already to work with here, trying to get some of that early KP that they've already been able to build up, with Cheez-It Mullis already having 2 kills.
I'm expecting big things from, the flatline PK seems to be the go-to loot that everyone's getting right off the rip. Finicky, one of the stronger controller players that we have here in SeriesE as well. He's going to be playing that Bloodhound. And looks like I'm hearing some shots. I don't think that's coming from this audio. It could be across from the map. Okay, so those shots are kind of annoying for Mullis, but he's not too worried about it. And they're going to just kind of place that jump pad if they want to go and get out. The good thing about the Octane jump pad is just how fast that cooldown is. You can already see right back on a 10%. Oh, yeah. So if they want to go and use that to approach like some Psycho Revenants, they could go and do that. But instead, looks like they're going to just chillax a little bit and lay some shots down. When you fight this long, Vicky, you have to be a little bit worried of the third party. Yeah, I already got the cleanup, and this is probably the third party, but you got to worry about the fourth and fifth parties. This is a very common spot to fight.
Yeah, especially since sorting is to their backs essentially here, and they already have some of that KP, so it really trickles down to how eager they are to take this fight over to the squad that has that high ground. It looks like Mullis is low on shields too, saying that Finicky was the one that was able to provide some of those materials, but they're going to try to send it over. Look how aggressive Mullis is positioned right now, trying to push forward, trying to get into a good spot. They haven't seen him just yet, so he may just get away with it.
I don't know. We'll see if this fight's going to work out for them, honestly. I mean, it's pretty tough, the position that Mullis is in. You do have overfire towards the side, but there's the rip from the side. That's going to be Crummy actually getting finished throughout all of this. But like Starjo did get the longbow knock. It is from long range. You can see the res hasn't came through quite yet. Great flatline shots. As you can see exactly why Mullis is going to be that kill leader. Pretty impressive stuff coming in from Mullis. They're going to get Golden's banner back and should be able to get the res, hopefully. But they are dipping out, actually. So that's going to be about 75 seconds until that one comes back.
Yeah, I actually think either there was somebody sniping them from afar there, but, you know, after getting that quick shield swap, they're actually just going to try to get that res onto the Gibby. But talking about Gibbies and having to get res, Intel Dupe wants to be careful here, taking some damage, and EMP hitting Team Intel. They're inside of a building, so trying to see if they could get situated here. But another fight going on. It's going to be double Gibby bubbles sending out. Lazarus getting melted down. Senpai is the first to go down. It's going to be a 1v3 potentially here if Hundreds isn't too careful. He's forced to back off, but he's getting beamed. That's going to be Lazarus already out of this lobby.
Unfortunate for Lazarus, we were talking them up, but they do meet a pretty solid team. That's going to be Corey Triton and Sir Lifty. Luke going to go on over to them, but look at who's waiting in the brinks. Possibly a third party coming in for Team Razor. You can see Baby Tooley is looking for somebody in the vicinity. Once it gets an audio cue, probably going to hit the scan throughout all of this, but looks like nobody there quite yet. So this is a very common spot for Team Razor. I mean, I've seen Team Razor, again, this is Season 3. They've been in there since Season 1 with a very, very similar roster, at least the core foundation of Hakulo and with Zara Tricky. But they love to play Skyhook. They love to come over and take this hill. They will gatekeep everybody on the way out, going over towards the fragment side, and then they're going to continue to rack up kills on the outside.
Yeah, now they're going to try to rotate here. They have to be careful since Ring 1 is already closing. Having the Bloodhound coming in, being able to see everybody gets beamed. It's Thule who's going to send it forward. They've lost Hakula, but it doesn't matter. That was a great opportunity for Team Razor to get some of that KP, because you can see they really needed to get some of that damage up, specifically Thule. Now trying to cover their backs, but they're going to have some of this loot to make it into the circle with them. So that's going to be a good start off for Team Razor, and maybe try to play the following circle after that if they can get a scan on the beacon.
That's exactly what Team Razor does, though. I mean, you have to be careful rotating over towards this side, and now that you've played game number 1, still plenty of games to be played, but teams should realize this is not a spot that you're going to want to go and rotate from. They play a very unorthodox style. They're looking for fights, especially on the open day. On the pro day, they'll still play the edge, but they're not going to sit in the zone because they know that they're going to get kept. So they're going to play a little bit safer, maybe get into a building and then do something. But that's just a little bit too easy because, again, this is what Team Razor does. They were number 1 after Season 1 in terms of points. They were one of our most dominant teams, especially on our open day, and nobody really even came close because of this play style that they've always brought to the table. So you can see, is that, again, with just zone number 1, they're still going to be big chilling on the outside, looking in, eventually going to make their way in. But I'd be curious to see where this zone's going to go and what the rest of these teams are going to do, because Team Razor right now, I don't believe that they're going to run into anybody.
Yeah, they're opting to just play passively, but talk about playing passively. RKT has to watch out. He landed on top of the thermite. Oh, he's going to be able to pop the battery just in time, but they may be in a tough place considering the fact that it sounds like their shots come in from behind them, looking like they're sandwiched here. This is not a club sandwich that you want to be part of. They want to get the invitation to another party, but they have to think quickly. And seeing that they have the Valkyrie, maybe they could utilize that ult if they haven't utilized it just yet. Try to get out of that situation or send it forward if they could get a knock first. Trickling down to what RKT could do. Rice Krispies, though, they're the first ones to lose someone. It's the Bloodhound. The immediate retaliation from Nemo, but Light has to watch out. He's by himself. They're going to try to send it in with the Thermite, and they're getting hit from behind, too. Actually, that's going to be in front of them. It's another sniper. Looking like there's so many people here already rotating to this side here of Thermo. They want to watch out. The caustic gas traps too is going to protect Pop-Tarts so that way they can hold this building and avoid the chaos ensuring outside.
Pop-Tart's doing a really good job of locking this down. I didn't get an opportunity to see that. This is actually Lion over there on the Gibraltar. Lion, one of my favorite players to play with, and also has Z Davis on the squad as well. So this is a team I'm very familiar with actually playing ranked with. So pretty funny to see them putting this together inside of one of these beacon buildings. And I like the combination here of getting Valkyrie and Caustic, because you're going to get those scans. You're also going to get the flight on over towards a priority building. And if you want to lock it down, you can do so. So this is a very powerful composition. Look at the shots coming in from Exile onto Mollis. Mollis is going to get knocked. And it looks like Z Davis is trying to get past that ever annoying barrel over there to lay a thermite over towards the door. But Lion has to heal, so everything is going to slow down just temporarily. This fight becoming pretty popular. These teams always want to kind of duke it out, and I like this push coming in from Z Davis. They don't have a enemy Caustic, so he's going to make the flank on over towards the side. One-on-one with the Gibraltar. Lion needs to come in with the bubble over towards the side, and there's the Caustic gas over towards the front, pushing everybody out over towards the back. There goes the chase coming through as well. That's going to be the second knock, and the finish is Team Pop-Tarts is going to eliminate Team Cheez-It and take over this side of Thermal Station. Very nicely done.
I love that follow-up too, right there. It was Davis who opened that up essentially as the entry fragger, was able to put on some pressure, hold the doors, but because they had that Caustic traps and the ult coming in, Exile was able to get that follow-up with Lion, and now Pop-Tarts holding this position is great because they also have that beacon right there. They know where the next circle is going to be, so they know where to prioritize their positioning next as far as it comes to the next steps that they want to actually look out for. They also know where there's another squad that's been sniping them from the right side here towards the northwest, so that's something that they want to look out for when they make that next rotation.
Now Razor has actually made their move there. They're finding themselves in a little bit of a skirmish. There's the R301 3X coming in from Zeratricky, very popular combination that he likes to use. And this team is on the ropes. They do have some flesh damage over towards the side. There goes the scan, so they're going to take a couple of seconds before they want to go and make their move. Checking to see if anyone's down over towards the bottom, and there is a player. Nice tracking right there. Not able to connect with all of the shots. Let's see if teammates going to be able to go up. Looks like they can't really tell. A little bit of lag coming in, so not quite sure. Looks like Thule was able to finish that one off onto Bursty. So finishing off that rat, and there's the third party fight coming on over towards the side. So really nice plays coming in from Team Razor again with that rotation. Multiple kills on multiple players over here. Again, another Bloodhound scan, but that could just be a general Bloodhound scan. It may not be for them, and it actually was. They were waiting for the clamor up. That's going to be Thule going down immediately. Bubble is going to come through. The res is going to be faked. You're going to see a thermite coming in through. Actually, that was going to be their own thermite into a res, just in case anyone wanted to send it into the bubble. But sometimes what happens, Vicky, is you could give one of these top teams a little bit too much respect. That was an opportunity to go and push, and now the counter push is going to come through after the res and the heals are going to come through, and that's why they were afraid to push, because they did not want to get up close with Team Razor. Razor just giving it to them, and that is going to be all she wrote. Amazing tracking coming in from Hakulo. They missed the opportunity to take down one of the top teams, and Team Razor going to flex.
Oh, the way that Hakulo just came up from that, though. That was amazing to allow Thule to just heal up in time. Great on extra tricky, too, with that dome, so that way they could get Thule up. But now another squad's already sent it in, and great timing on finishing that squad, because Team Razor are going to have to start getting into another fight right away with another squad trying to get into circle. And that's going to be a desperate push, too, because they're going to get circle camped by Team Razor if they're not going to get too overly aggressive and find an opportunity that we just saw Razor take full advantage of.
Really, the only thing that could stop Team Razor right now would be a full 3-man Revenant squad, all with heirlooms, and I don't really see that happening because they have a team trapped on over towards the bottom right now. Team Razor's been in this position before. They know to watch their back, clear out anybody that's going to be where they're trying to go, and that's where the pings are coming down. But at the same time, they are going to deal with this team and get the free kill points while they can, because worst case scenario, they're just going to play the direct edge. There's some rocks directly in front of them. They could get directly under those banners and then make their play. But if that's going to be the case, that's going to rely heavily on Zeratricky and what he's going to be able to do with the bubble, with the defensive bombardment. They're going to have to take this team out behind them and then advance directly in front of them. While they do that, that's when Gibraltar just becomes so much more valuable. So what they can't afford to do is coexist with the team over towards the side and rotate directly next to them, because then they may end up getting focused by both teams. So a little bit of reevaluation coming in from Baby Thule, and some relocation as well over towards the Dorito building, as we can see which team that was. That's going to be Nestle Splash, actually, with the gatekeep. Just talking about turns and what he was able to do. But now they're going to give up a little bit of this real estate. I love to see them kind of advance and keep Team Razor out of this.
Yeah, they're right next to them there too, and they're going to be able to have that rotation advantage since they're already positioned here. But if another team comes up behind them, I'm going to be a little worried for Team Splash. just opting to see if there's any other stragglers behind them before they send it into Team Razor, because they notice them. Their pings are coming in too. So Mamba now getting into position. They have scan at the ready now. They do have a Beast of the Hunt, so if necessary, they could try to go in for quick reposition. Also utilizing turns as ultimate, having those jump pads available to you. But they're playing this extremely patient. There's also 12 other squads left, so no blame there. Now, with the grenades getting sent forward, Team Razor just want to find the opportunity to break down those defenses of Splash. And talking about defensive, it's just shield going down from Mamba. He pops the ult, he repositions immediately.
This is the push. They know that they have damage. They know that they have superior armor as well. By now, they should have purples. They should even maybe have a red armor at this point. Gibby's going to back up, and the whole team's going to stick into the corner, and they're going to get hit markers on that. Double defensive bombardment's going to connect. There's the scan. We're talking about the armor differential as well. Reds onto blues. There's the bubble, and they should have a huge advantage in this fight. They already have the position under wraps. They know exactly where these players are. Everyone filtering into the corner. Thule will be able to finish this one. There it is. That's the Splash. Actually, Mamba is going to come through and do a lot of damage while Gibby X comes through with the third party. So Applejacks gets involved. Multiple teams came from behind. You were just talking about that, Vicky. These teams have been fighting and gatekeeping for so long that just became all of this other opportunity for these other players to push. Meanwhile, Team Intel has been locking things down inside the Go building over here. You can see Skittlecakes is rocking Spitfire Kraber. Interesting combo. Curious to see how many Kraber shots are actually left in that one. Missed it, but I love this positioning, and this position is not easy, not only to predict, but to hold this entire time. Shows you that Intel's been playing very well.
They're going to have, the entire party to view from the high ground here, too, on top of these buildings, because we saw where the action just started next to that choke point, right next to staging there. So now with some of that information and having the Kraber, now with Skittlecakes taking control here, they're going to have clear view. Perhaps getting a hit here is going to unfortunately miss, but now that's information that these teams making this rotation from that choke point after that chaos to let them know that there is a Kraber out there, and they're going to have to watch out because Intel, they have that position advantage right now inside these buildings.
I feel like that Gibby is sitting there watching Skittlecake's screen immediately when the Kraber gets lined up, just a little hop over there. As Rice Krispies is going to full send right into this bottom donut area, which is actually still into the zone. This is a very common spot to hold, and a lot of teams will coexist on over here. One team inside of the donut, one team outside. You can see the zone is still a little bit over towards half of the bottom floor, which means that half of the top floor is going to be in as well. So this player could get sent on if they want to go through with this one, but one grenade down that spiral staircase and everybody on Rice Krispies could eat it. There's the push. That player is going to be cornered. That's going to be Brandon. We were on board a little bit earlier with this team, but they do get wiped. They were the team that did land over towards this thermal station side, and that's where the zone did end up pulling. So unfortunate situation for Brandon and their squad, but Dupe is coming through with the Kraber getting some knocks over towards the side. Rice Krispies does have to move over towards the zone. Intel is fairly close, so they can hold this building for quite some time. Priority on over towards where this jungle gym is, and that's why Skittlecakes is looking for some damage. Ooh, not pulling the trigger on that one quite yet, but they have the best spot right now in the game. Skittle needs to get back to the team. Double Kravers coming through. Dupe does have the defensive bombardment as well, and that's going to be 2 knocks, one with the grenade, one with the Kraber. Looks like they should be able to finish this one off, and they needed to do so, Vicky. Bubble being used at the right time. This bubble will come up by the time the next zone is going to be closing. So I love these plays coming in from Team Intel. They needed to pick up kill points after holding this building for quite some time, and they're able to do so.
Yeah, and a bombardment came out too from the team that they're sending it in on. Dupe already still holding on to his. They don't even need to get too overly aggressive here. They have the positional advantage, but they have to look out for a squad that may rotate and take their position because they got a little too overly aggressive, and because of that, they repositioned for it. They do get KP in the process, and being able to have a lot of that KP is part of the entire process here, Tom. Aside from placement, of course, you want to get that KP, but at what cost here when that position could have given up your ability of winning the entire game already? A lot of these squads making their rotation in, and with circle closing, it's ring 5, and whoever takes control over these buildings are going to be sitting pretty happily, but Dupe gets beaten from both directions, nowhere for him to go, and the rest of Intel are trying to desperately give in some of that suppressed fire, but they're also getting shot from behind, so they need to watch out, or else somebody's going to take some of those kills away from them.
Yeah, and you're right. At what cost was it? I mean, at that point, everybody had rotated over towards the side. I think that they were expecting that they were going to be able to have their cake and eat it too, and unfortunately, they just weren't able to. As Rice Krispie Treats made a very solid rotation. There was also teams posturing over towards the rocks that were gatekeeping the entire time. So if they could have just got to that fence area, that would have been huge. Instead, they will lose a player. Nemu's banner is right there, and you do see the respawn directly behind. And I know me, Vicky, I probably know you as well. At that point, I'm like, yo, guys, come on. Get me back in the game. Just my box is right there. My box is right there. Come on, just hit the res. Hit the res.
It's basically the equivalent to the SpongeBob. You don't want to see me do it again and just running right back. I would definitely try my hand at that. But now with the circle closing in less than 25 seconds, a lot of these squads are keeping their eyes out. And they're out in open field, so they have to retreat towards these crates, or else it's going to be open season on Team Rice Krispie Treats. Landing some of these bolt damage, though. Oh, landing a lot of hits, but with so much suppressed fire and these red shields, too, from that opposing team. Clinical wants to watch out. They're going to be holding forward those Ziploc bags. They a little overzealous. They wanted to take control over those two victims that they saw over to the side, but now it's just Yo-Yo Joe, who's the last one left. He has to go in for a quick shield swap, but all teams are going to be pushing in. That's the last team to make it forward. It's Team PSS, who are the champions of the first game.
PSS, we've seen them before in SeriesE. They've popped off on numerous open nights under different team names, under a different roster. It's kind of a little bit of a melting pot of their previous rosters, but I've recognized those names before, and they were waiting in the wings. I mean, that was very well timed, very well played. There was so much action happening around that building that the teams that played the rocks on the outside actually pulled out the dub. So congratulations, PSS, taking game number 1, not just of today, but of Season 3 of SeriesE overall. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to tally up those scores, and we'll be right back for game number 2.
That's cute. That's a wallpaper.
I don't see anybody else's esports org with this many sponsors. That's all I'm saying.
What? You don't like that? do like, I don't know. Is there like a Fortnite character that you like that doesn't take out storyline?
The eye when it comes to production and photography.
Yeah, put the Nintendo Direct right there.
Area.
What's up? Look at this crew neck, Connie. Show me this crew neck. Look at the embroidery. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Connie, how do those feel on your legs?
I love them, dude. I could literally live in these.
Howdy, he said hi. GameCube controller. Get out of here.
We wanted to have
What's this?
Phone and I just saw it.
Oh my god.
like this thing right here.
You get that on camera?
Watch your fingers.
Yes.
Put the camera down. Can you guys put these cameras down and like actually help Kyle?
Buddy, here, you can just take this. No, Brandon, keep vlogging.
Yeah, I don't know why he's thinking.
We got Tyler posing over here looking like a badass. We got Kyle doing some great shots where he pulls back and... 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a whole vibe, Connie. Gaming, dog. Gaming.
It's always taxi.
Ooh, where's your camera? In the box?
In the box. You think the elevator's working?
No.
No. It was really dangerous. That was some Final Destination.
Yes.
Show us a picture.
No.
Hey guys, we're gonna...
Yeah, we did it. We made it. Right before the sun.
540.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the skin. The true style trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. With the bars and the breaks, I'm talking one chance that was so good for the go. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
I've got this. Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws. They're Jumbo.
Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go.
It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Oh, that commercial just made me hungry. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to SeriesE Season 3. And hey, it's game number 2 time. We just got wrapped up with game number 1. T-Squared and Vicky bringing you the action and talking about a wide variety of things. I mean, we're talking about esports arena and, you know, how awesome the Luxor was and the after parties, Vicky. I mean, how ready are you to get back to LAN and be able to see these tournaments live? You got to unmute first.
If that wasn't the answer for you,
You're speechless.
If that wasn't the answer for you, I don't know what better way to word it. But I'm so excited. We have a tropical storm currently going on right now in South Florida where I'm located. So a lot of this remote stuff has been fun for the time being. But Tom, I am so ready for these events to come back. I'm so ready to see a lot of these hype games go down in person, especially with these squads playing out. And with PSS taking game number 1, why don't we throw it over to the Mobile One leaderboards? Check out to see what the rest of our teams are doing. Take a look at this, though. Despite PSS winning that first game, it's Team Razor that had enough KP in their pockets and their placement to take it over PSS. So currently, they are ranked number 1 with 23 points.
Team Razor doing it big on the open day like they normally do. And you have a tropical storm down in South Florida. I think the servers have a tropical storm as well. So hopefully the servers end up getting cleaned up as we take a look at Rice Krispie Treats sneaking their way into third place with that little donut push that they had over towards the bottom side, picking up a lot of kill points along the way. Ziploc Bags had a pretty impressive performance. Team Intel locking things down with the double Kraber inside of the building, looking pretty strong over there. Gibby X with their third party, picking up some kills, but not able to get off the high ground area, back on over towards where Team Intel was holding down that building. So a really nice job by a lot of these teams, especially PSS taking the dub and Team Razor getting a lot of kills. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment. Shots. You can see they were doing a pretty great job with just a 2-man squad, but Clinical took so much damage throughout all of that with the gold armor. The heals were coming through pretty fast, but the collapse was just too much as Ziploc Bags came around, lost a handful of players, and then made it an easy 3 versus 1 throughout all of this. So impressive performance from PSS. Again, the timing on this third party was phenomenal. Picking up a lot of the kills on the ground, too, to get that extra kill points is pretty crucial. So heads up play, getting all of the possible points over there towards the end for PSS. And that was just game number 1. Still plenty of games to be played here. This is our open day. Again, the pro day will be tomorrow. And appreciate y'all joining us. Season 3 is going to be weeks long, I believe, maybe a little bit longer. I think it was about 8 to 12 weeks, just like our normal season was. But $750 a month, that's what these players are making, Vicky. $750 a month to be representing a team and getting a lot of swag along the way. I mean, all right, Vicky, in terms of the esports arena swag, we saw the commercials coming through.
Oh, yeah.
We had the conversation.
I think
it's all about the gray hoodie and the black pants. It's all about the gray hoodie and the black pants.
I need to get those black pants most definitely, cause especially seeing that we've been repping it out here remotely. But aside from a lot of these merch, Clone Force 32, your favorite name here for this team, has found themselves in a bit of a pickle. They've lost their Gibby. I know is not in this fight, but taking control over this high ground position is going to be decoys and Trinal Tack. So hopefully, if they could continuously suppress this team, it definitely trickles down to how far this other team is going to be able to push and engage here. They're already climbing up, and they're already trying to take control over the high ground. They're trying to trickle in on decoys, but it's going to be Tack who takes the butt end of a lot of that damage, and that's going to be it for that team. Now, currently, as Rockstar are making their way over to sorting, that's a great start here for that team that was able to get that advantage over the Gibby that they were able to isolate. But with Airstream landing here, it seems here, Tom, that this team definitely enjoys landing on Thermal Station.
Yes, with that little transition right there, I felt like that was like the light at the end of the tunnel that Clone Force 32 saw as they exited World's Edge here. Very nice job by Airstream again with the 50-50s. Remember, Brandon was taken out at the tail end of game number 1, right in that same exact spot that this team is right now. So it's not going to be another Thermal Station zone. They're going to have to make some rotations. We'll find out what they have in store for us, as we do have another fight taking place on the map. Sir Lifty and Triton's team actually going to find a cleanup onto Team Cryptic. So very nicely done by them as Team Pop-Tarts looting and scooting over towards the Overlook side. You can see the 3X going down for the R301. We've had this conversation with a couple of different people, especially, while I'm gaming, of which scope do you like to use? A lot of people have been loving the 3X on the R301. I can see why. They say it gives them a lot more headshots. They, start to get a lot more beams and one clips than they actually think. I've always been a fan of the 2X. Chat, let me know what you think. Vicky, what do you think?
I actually am a big fan of the 2x4, funny enough. I love the 2x4, obviously depending on which gun I'm using, but coming from somebody who mostly utilizes the G7, that is definitely my go-to scope for something like that. But yeah, Pop-Tarts, they are going to be able to try to get a bit of a look around to see who's by fragment. And while we have Davis repositioning here, that's some intel that Pop-Tarts could use while making into these rotations, because they're already going to be into circle. And when whoever is going to be coming out of fragment is going to have to face off against Pop-Tarts when they want to make close to these rotations towards sorting factory.
A little late on the rotation, but nonetheless, still a rotation going on over towards sorting like you were talking about. Going to have to make their way through this open no-name area, go either through the choke, which they're pinging, or they're going to make their way on over towards the donut side. And typically once you get to that donut side, that's where you start to meet some sort of resistance, either a team that's sitting inside there, a team that's possibly sitting on top of sorting. All really depends on how the lobby is going to play out. As Blight's going to get a knock with the charge rifle onto Zeratricky for Team Razor. No scans on this team, not running a Bloodhound, so they have to be extra aware of their surroundings. And a player going on up the balloon. That should be a free knock. Actually, Z Davis takes a ton of damage. A player is in the jungle gym laying down cover fire, but I'm not sure what Exile was doing. That was free shots right there from a player that was moving in a straight line. So really unorthodox play from Team Pop-Tarts, but what a nade.
Oh yeah, I'm not too sure if they were just trying to play a little bit more patient, but the moment that we currently had Davis start shooting those shots, that's when that was the time for Exile to just let it rip. And drop the drone right there so that way they don't get any better loot, so that's why he forcibly shot that drone when it was blue. But, you know, having this position's great, but they also have to watch their backs, and they know that they're not in the best situation, so they're going to use a Valkyrie ult to reposition, maybe get a scan over any other squads that happen to be in the area. They're also going to be able to take control over sorting factory, and they have that intel to see if any other team is going to rotate from harvester or from tree. So they're going to have this high ground over here, and I like this decision from Pop-Tarts because they still need to look for better loot. It's looking like it's a little scarce out here between some of these shields, and with that purple shield right there, actually, Pop-Tarts looking like they're already in a better situation.
Yeah, and also picking up some extra ammo, shotgun bolts for the Mastiff if you need it. Got plenty of loot for that charge rifle now, getting that extra ammo pack. So I do love that play. That's a heads up Valkyrie ultimate there from Z Davis. Team on board with that one as well as they make their way on over towards the tail end of the tree side. And it looks like this could potentially start pulling over where I was not expecting it to go this hard on over towards the tree and thermal side. But the way that Pop-Tarts is shaping up and the way that this zone is looking, I feel like this is a pretty decent position overall. But holding the middle of tree is just a little bit difficult at this point with the teams on the high ground over towards that thermal station area, an area that Sentinels during our pro night loves to lock down. It looks like Pop-Tarts is going to be okay with just sitting inside this building, picking up whatever extra loot that they can until they find more opportunities on the map. So the gatekeeping now has commenced, maybe waiting until another Valkyrie ultimate comes back up if they want to get crazy.
Yeah, they just want to hold this building now too. Pop-Tarts, as we do focus down on where they want to rotate to, knowing where the next circle is going to be is important here, especially since you have that Valkyrie that could also find any other stragglers that are trying to rotate here if she does get into that air, either with her ultimate or on a zip line. They also have a line reaching close to that purple evil shield too, so would look to be a scary situation for them as they were making those late rotations from the direction of fragment towards sorting. They're looking a lot better now. They see somebody in their sights though with that charge rifle. He's going to try to tickle them a little bit. Looked like a no-reg there actually at the very end, but yeah, they're going to be able to try to play patiently. They know where one squad is. They know that with that charge rifle, they're going to attract a lot of attention, specifically from that squad that could be making their rotation from sorting into their direction.
I don't like being tickled at all, especially when it's with a charge rifle. So nothing's more annoying because it's like, okay, cool, you're going to hit me for 6. I really am OCD and I really want to hell just because you hit me for 6. It's going to be full because I can't just stand looking at that little part of my health bar going down. So I like Pop-Tarts and what they're doing, kind of playing that annoying, little game of cat and mouse over here inside of this building as Z Davis is running around picking up all the possible grenades, and you can see Exile focused on blocking and locking all of these stores as they're going to wait for their opportunity to kind of pounce on anybody that will be rotating out and towards the middle of the map. You can see on the player outline one little Gibby is making their way over towards the bottom. That looks like a defensive bombardment outline possibly could have been used. They're going to toss their way into this building, and that's the grenade that's going to go through from Z Davis. I'm surprised he took so much burst, 150 immediately from that player on top. And they have infiltrated into Pop-Tart's building with a caustic. That is absolutely not easy to do. Whoever this is, I'm impressed.
That was Exile took so he got melted, and look how quickly they're getting sent on. The rest of Pop-Tarts are taking too much pressure. Lion only with the charge rifle. He didn't want to reload the massive. It would have taken too long. And these arc stars too. Oh my goodness, Kim Chili is gonna be able to get 2 of those knocks with the arc star. Finish things off with the EVA 8. A great start here for this team. Now, as Team Rockstar are gonna be able to regain themselves, make some shield swaps, heal up a little bit. They want to get some ammo too in their pocket because there's another squad that's right out there, and they may send it forward if they find the opportunity is right.
What a great job by Rockstar. I mean, Pop-Tarts, that is 3 skilled players, and Rockstar with the shots, with the confidence, pushing through that top side. I mean, running through the caustic barrel, multiple caustic barrels, going through these traps and living and being able to tell the tale to do so is just not easy to do against these partner teams, and Rockstar just did that. As you can see, the Ultimate Excel being popped by Kim Chili, and I do like this this position. I thought that Pop-Tarts did have a great spot overall, but Rockstar are recognizing the situation, saying, hey, we like that spot too, Vicky.
Yeah, that's tough. You talk about the fact that they pushed onto a caustic squad. I mean, I don't know